Thanks so much for listening to the Del Hollow Lake podcast. To keep up with everything Del Hollow, follow and subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, Apple Music, or Spotify.
So, hey, this is Richard from the Eastport Marina for the Del Hollow Lake podcast. And this week we have the Eagle Cam folks. In case you don't know about the Eagle Cam, you know what, Sue? How about I let you tell us about the Eagle Cam?
I don't know who discovered the Nest, but it's been streaming since they put the camera up in 2016 in December. 2017 was our first season. Had 3 eaglets that hatched, 2 fledged. Was a tough first year for Eagle Cam, but River and Obey has built a community.
So the Eagle Cam was a joint venture between the Marina Association on the lake and Twin Lakes, which is the TV and internet provider for this area. So money was raised and things were donated, and we were able to work with a landowner that put up some telephone poles and allowed us to run some fiber and electricity, so we could watch the eagles make their nests, have babies, and live a wonderful life on Del Hollow Lake. So we get to see the eagles all the time. I mean, we have a nest down here by Eastport as well. I don't know where it's at, but I see the eagles all the time. So, we didn't know it was going to blow up as big as it did. I mean, we have over 50,000 people following it on Facebook. That's incredible. YouTube, we actually earn some money. We don't have to raise money anymore to pay for the electricity and the bandwidth. And I don't think a lot of people understand the amount that goes into this. Putting new cameras up. We haven't asked for any money in years. Now, we're not up there with those people that make a ton of money. I mean, we're talking about maybe $500 a month or something like that. So it's not a lot
to cover expenses.
Yeah, just enough to cover expenses. We don't have a windfall. But 50,000 people is decent, but we're not in the millions yet.
Yeah.
So, but Obie and River have been really popular. They've laid eggs every year that we know. Sometimes 2, sometimes 3. This year we got 3 in the nest, right?
Right. We had 3 very healthy eaglets.
So I actually can share my screen and I will show you the live eagles nest, I hope. That's the Facebook page. So
right.
Now the Facebook page, that's where the 50,000 followers are, 47,000 likes. That's incredible.
Darlene does an awesome job over there at the Facebook, taking care of everything. She works hard.
It's not easy, is it, Darlene?
No, it's a daily. I have to keep the scammers off. I've got to answer people's questions. I read every single comment that is put on Facebook.
It's amazing how many people
post
want to just post crap on there.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
Lord,
post
yes.
stuff on the off season too, so you keep it.
Yes, I had to. And I kept the Facebook page going when the camera was down.
Yeah, you did a good job of that. I mean, you kept people interested. You were saying things like, well, this is what the Eagles were doing this time last year, and they're probably doing the same thing this year.
Yep. And I try to keep the page educational, because the more you educate people, the better.
Well, that's good, because there's a lot of school kids that they go to school every day and their teacher has it up for them to watch every day.
Yeah, I know.
We have
a Discord community also that has a lot of documentation. They keep track of all the sticks and the um, while they're separate places, they work together and documenting everything about River and Obi.
So River and Obi, I wonder who named them. I mean, it makes sense. They're on the Obi River.
We know who named them. They
Who
had
was it?
they had a contest at school. And the kids named them Obi for the Obi River and River for River.
Yeah.
That's how they were named.
Okay. And the babies don't get names. They just get numbers, right?
Right.
So, and we
So
have
this
no
year-
way. I mean, sometimes
year
they
we
hang
have-
around. Go ahead, Keisha.
I was gonna say this year we have DH-17, DH-18, and DH-19. So that's the 19th egg that has hatched since the cam went live in 2016.
Now, I was looking at the babies. We've had some years where the babies are hatched too many days apart, and one is really big and one is really small. And we've had times where the eagle eats his little brother or little sister.
Well, that happens whenever there's a food shortage. They usually catch up if there's not a food shortage, but like, as in last season was terrible, but they had 3 terrible storms back to back, and they weren't bringing in any food, and the eaglets were hungry, and they have a will to survive, and the strongest is going to always survive.
And that's really hard for some people. I mean, it's
Heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking for people that understand it and the people that don't. And they want to know why you don't go up that tree and save that baby. They don't understand how that nest is situated. If someone were to try to get in that nest, they would knock it down. It is
yeah.
very precarious.
They would jump or something. You're gonna cause a lot more damage trying to rescue a little baby than you would just leaving it the way it is and let nature take its course.
I think a lot of the viewers don't understand that us as moderators, we hurt and feel just as more so than them because we're more invested. I mean, a lot of us have been there since the very beginning, and they're just dropping in for drama. Whereas
Amen.
River, yeah.
I was really frustrating for me because whenever there's a problem, not so much anymore, but there was a time where I'm the president of the Marine Association because nobody else will take it, but I can't give it away, which is typical. But there are people really involved with it. But when it comes to the Eagle Cam, I seem to get those phone calls. And I mean, I'd have people threaten to sue us, everything over the Eagle Cam. I think I personally have banned 25 people because they just don't get it. I mean, we can't do stuff. It's the law, right?
Right.
I mean, it's not us, it's the law. The law says that you can't disturb an eagle's nest while during certain times of the year. That's why we can't fix a camera in the middle of the season.
They don't understand too, because down in Florida, they go up and rescue the eaglets and put them back and all that. But it's a whole different state and there's different laws, I imagine.
And it's flat.
Yes.
Not a tree on a cliff.
Right.
So I mean, there's a big difference. One of the craziest questions I've ever got was, why did we let the eagles build a nest in that area? Why couldn't we put the Eagle Cam where it's more accessible? Okay. So I mean,
How do you answer that?
Oh, I don't want to tell you how I wanted to answer it, but I mean, she truly believed that that was something that we had control over. No, that eagle finds and builds its own nest. I mean, we don't have some artificial nest that they adopt. They did all the work. We didn't do anything. So, and it's in a good spot. I mean, when you're right, well, let's tell everybody where it's at. Okay, so I mean, I own the Eastport, and Sunset Marina is just up the river here, And it's about 3/4 of the way from Eastport to Sunset, I'd say.
It's
And,
4.5 miles. It's 4.5 miles upriver from Sunset.
Okay, and it's
So
13 miles, so yeah, maybe a third of the way. So it's, if you go during the time they're building the nest or hatching babies, I mean, you can sit there and see them fly in and out of the nest. Not as good as you could see the last nest.
right.
Last one, it seemed like a little cave that they went into. You could tell where it was. So,
Well,
if
we
you
were there
want
in December. Did you ever see it?
oh, well, you know what? Well, we went together. That's right. I truly never saw it.
It was
So,
hard to see.
I
It was,
think I knew where it was, but it was a lot harder to see. The tree's not as big, the nest isn't as big. And it didn't have that little hole that they could fly in and out of like the other nest does. It was like
That was in December.
yes.
It was
yeah,
thank you
it was a
for
good day. It was warm, it wasn't bad at all. So we took a pontoon boat up there and it worked out pretty good. I think maybe we didn't take a pontoon up. I forget what boat it was, but we had a
take
good
the
time.
fishing boat.
Yeah, oh, that's right. I took a fishing pole too. That's just like me. So yeah, that was a good time. So you guys, you talk about community and stuff. Well, what crazy stuff have you guys heard? I mean, mine is, why did you let them build a nest there? What's the craziest thing you've heard from?
I've got one in I think 2020 it was that DH9 walked off the nest at like 3 days old, and people were going nuts wanting us to go up there and save that baby because they said it was on the ground and we could save it. And that I was like, that's a 3-ounce eaglet. It's not going to survive a 100-foot drop. And they wanted us to go look for it just in case it was still alive. And that was probably the craziest because they were calling us heartless and saying terrible things to us about it.
Yeah.
Well, they did that last year too. It's like we get blamed for everything that happens, be good or bad. Yeah, they don't realize that we're just visitors in the Eagles world. We're fortunate to get to watch. We don't have any control over what they do.
I had
Right.
somebody this year say, why don't you guys make a food drop? Because River's gonna have a hard time finding food. Why don't you drop some food for her to go get
Yeah, in the nest. I've seen
in
that.
the net?
But then last year, a lot of people were saying, they needed to drop some fish off.
I'd like to say we got great chatters though. We have wonderful chatters. There's a few bad apples, but most of our chatters are so supportive and they try to stand up and have our back whenever people are just being unreasonable. And we've got some wonderful chatters too.
Yeah, for the most part, I think it's good. I mean, I don't know that I have that many hours in the day left to be able to watch the Eagle Cam like they do. And I don't know everything every day, what's going on with it. But and of course, the Marine Association, we rely on you guys, volunteers that want to do it and are interested in it, and y'all do a wonderful job. So, and it's a tough job because they're not always friendly. But then you get those people that really want to learn about the Eagles. And I bet you say the same things over and over again.
Oh yeah.
So
10 times in a day.
it's like on the Fishdale Hollow page, they want to know what the water temperature is.
Here is a fish question, because people always think that the fish coming into the nest is a trout, and we've never seen a trout come to the nest. Do they stock it up that high, far up?
No, they're not catching trout on this end of the lake.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah, no. There's
So
crappie.
they do stock trout in other parts of the lake.
Well, I don't think they have in a while, but there are lake trout. But they like deeper, colder water.
So they're down toward the dam?
Yeah, or on the other side of the dam, because the water coming out of the dam is pretty cold too. year
I've
round.
I've seen trout down at one of the other marinas, Star Point. I've seen trout down, or yeah, brown lake trout down there.
They could be that far down. But like when you buy a fishing license, you can buy it with trout or without trout. And most everybody, well, I'd say everybody, when they buy a license here, they don't buy the trout part of it. Costs you a little bit more. And we don't catch trout down here. I've had 2 people say they've caught trout in 15 years. And one, and they said, of course, I didn't see it. So I'm thinking they just don't know what their fish is. So there's no trout really down here.
Thanks for clearing that up. We wondered.
Yeah, you can catch some big lake trout or out, down, there's actually a trout farm at the dam. So they do stock trout on the lower part, but I don't think they do in the lake. So let's see, what else?
Our picnic. We need to talk about our picnic.
Right, you have a picnic every year at the Obi River Campground, right?
Twice a year. We have
Twice a year.
We have a spring picnic and a fall picnic.
Okay, so tell me about this one coming up.
Go ahead, Keisha, that's yours.
May 20th at the Obi River recreational area at the big pavilion. Everybody's invited. It's potluck. We start around 11 o'clock. We'll all eat and then we'll get on boats and we'll go out and visit the nest. That's usually, we've been doing it since 2017.
So where do you get your boats from?
Sunset.
Sunset Marina, you rent them there?
Yes.
Okay.
Tom
So we
gives
all
us the deal.
together
Yeah.
and
Well, they're
We all-
closed too.
we all pull together and share boats, and it's worked out every year. We've had people come from as far as Marilyn lives down in southern Florida. Kevin lives up in New Hampshire. Donna lives up in New Hampshire. So we have people come from all over.
They just trying to get away from the snow. Yeah. Anything to get away from the snow sometimes.
We have
And
a pretty good
how
crowd.
long is the boat ride to the Eagle's Nest, Keisha?
Well, in those slow pontoons, it takes about 30 minutes to get to the nest. But we're all joking and laughing and having a good time, so it don't matter.
No
And
drinking,
watching the
right?
Eagles.
And then it takes us about 30 minutes to get people to actually see the nest, if we're lucky, if we get them to see it at all. And the weather's usually pretty and the water's usually warm, and the kids are going off the slides and people are jumping in the river, swimming, and I mean, we just have a big old time out there.
It's so exciting when somebody first sees an eagle when they're on the water. I mean,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, there's one.
Yeah, some big cameras. Do they bring
Oh
some?
yeah.
Yeah. You got a pretty nice camera.
Well, yeah, I take mine, and Marty always
Marty.
takes his, and then there's plenty of people with binoculars, and we're all, those of us that know what we're looking for, we're always trying to spot for them and get them to see the nest and get them to see the eagles. And usually
That
we
was
can get them.
one-
They get so excited when they finally see it.
One of the good things about we miss the lake view, because
Oh,
with the
yeah.
lake view, we could see the boats out there. We might not be able to make out it's them, but Keisha would call or something, and but we could at least see the boats out there. And
You see my
See 'em
houseboats going
there.
back and forth.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You can see the houseboats. I've seen the houseboats go by there as well. That's pretty cool.
do you think we'll ever get the lake view added back, or?
Oh, I'm sure you will. We just, again, gotta wait for the off season now and figure out what camera and what we can do. But yeah, I think that's possible. I don't see why not.
Yeah, it
Think that
doesn't have to move.
it's
with
still
the tree
streaming,
like the
isn't it?
Eagle Nest does.
Oh, so you're saying that it's streaming, but it's not working on
We
YouTube?
don't have it on YouTube. It's just on Twin Lakes.
Wonder why that would be. I know that we upgraded all our bandwidth. I don't know if you guys understand that, but Mickey at Willow Grove, he handles all that. And we had to do a lot. We had to run extra fiber, or they had to run extra fiber to be able to take the bandwidth with, 50,000 followers. I mean, you just can't just hook up to a regular internet provider. I mean, you got to have more than that. So there's a lot to it. Trying to keep that all up to date. So, and the cameras keep getting better and better every year. So
Twin Lakes installed a very, very nice Nest camera this year. It is very nice.
It's the top of the line access camera.
yeah, that's pretty cool. They can move it around, right?
Right.
Yeah, zoom it in. So anyway, that's pretty cool. So the picnic, tell us the date again one more time.
May 20th at 11
May-
o'clock is when we'll start.
Is that Memorial Day weekend?
No,
No.
sir. It's the weekend
it's-
before, I believe.
Weekend before. Yeah, that's a good time to go. So
And then
yeah, whether-
October, we have it, the third weekend in October?
First
Keisha?
weekend of October.
oh, that's nice too.
Yeah, we kind of kicked off the season in October and we celebrated and ended up in May. Because we get out there right
Wow.
before the Eaglet sledge, hopefully.
Well, we run a deal on houseboats every October. You can get a houseboat that has 4 bedrooms in it for I think it's like $750 or $700 plus tax.
I'm going to take you up on that one year.
It's
Yeah,
something
we're
like
gonna-
that. You
we're
can
gonna go
park
sit
right there
there.
at the Eagle's Nest and
Yes, sir.
We're
dancing
gonna
on
go
the
sit at
top.
the Eagle's Nest.
I
Yeah.
thought about doing it. I thought about doing it in May personally, but then I realized I was going to have my grandbabies and I was just being nervous wreck with them running around that houseboat. So I decided not to this year.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit more in May, but October, it's it's different. It's not gonna be like your May trip. It's gonna be a sweatshirt, campfire, hiking on the shoreline because the water's down, looking for fossils and geodes and stuff like that. So it's different in October. You're not gonna be going down the slide probably unless you're from New Hampshire, because up there their water is normally solid.
A
So
lot of times
everything's
my crew's still out there swimming in October when we go.
no, I'm too old for that. If it's not 90 degrees. 85, 80, maybe 80. 80 is my limit. Less than 80, I'm not going in.
Well, you get some warm days in October.
Yeah, you can, but it's also great for campfires and sweatshirts and stuff like
Oh,
that.
it's beautiful. And the
Yeah.
leaves changing.
Oh, yeah. People always ask, so when's the best time to come to see the leaves? Well, right here where we're at, because the elevation, when the leaves turn, we have like a week. They go from green to I'm gone in a week, especially if we get a lot of wind and rain or something in October. So sometimes you can't plan that. Sometimes
it's
it's late,
different every
sometimes
year.
early. Yeah, it is. You go to the Smoky Mountains and you'll see no leaves way up top on the mountain, and then you got the red ones, and then you got the yellow ones, and then on the bottom it's green, and they got like 4 weeks where you can go see the color in the Smoky Mountains. Us, because our elevation, it's pretty much a week, just that's all we got. So anyway, but by that time the Eagles, they've gone, right? They go up north for the winter or for the summer.
No. And actually, they're usually, whenever the eaglets disperse in late June or early July is whenever the eaglets will be gone, or the fledglings will be gone for good. And then River and Obie, we don't know if they ever, they never traveled. They were always nearby, but they just didn't come to the nest because they don't use the nest.
Gotcha.
They come back, start coming back to the nest, usually late September, mid to late September. And then they slowly come more and more and more and work on their nest, and you'll see all kinds of stuff come. They're really getting active by the end of October.
Gotcha.
I was trying to look to see how many sticks have been brought in this year, and I can't get logged in
Yeah, they're
on my other
Yeah,
computer.
we keep track of silly things. How many sticks? How many fish?
Yeah.
lots of fish.
Yeah,
River's
that's
been bringing
amazing.
a lot of walleye.
Well, there's some walleye here in the lake.
Well, she's been bringing a lot. That's
Really?
mainly what they've been eating.
Well, right now, what the walleye are doing, they're in very shallow water because they're
Well,
starting to spawn. So
right,
it's real easy for them to swoop down and grab them in that 5 inches of water.
right,
So that's probably why you're seeing a lot of walleye right now.
right.
and
And a lot of them have eggs too.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I could see them getting a lot of walleye right now. It's funny at night, if you had a spotlight, you could see all the walleye eyes on the side of the bank.
Well, that would explain why that's what's coming to the nest right now.
Yeah. So, well, good. I'm sure they're a better fisherman than I am. Of course, they rely on that for their food. So,
I hear you're pretty good.
and well, no, I'm lucky, but I'm not very good. But and all the walleye keeps the kittens and the little puppies from getting picked up too.
That's good. That's
No,
real good.
I mean that
Yeah, the
happens
raccoon
too.
brought in 2 or 3 days ago, first of the
dove?
week.
Oh, the coon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Who knows what the TW Lakes people find when they go up in the nest?
Oh,
So,
all kinds of stuff, I'm sure.
yeah.
Sure, it's smelly.
All right. So we've been on a little bit here. So what else y'all want to talk about?
We could send congratulations to Southwest Florida. They just fledged 2 eaglets after the single father raised them since they were a month old.
Wow.
So we know if he could do it, then we know River can raise these babies if Obi isn't able to return.
Okay. So how can you tell them apart?
Obi and River?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So
here's how
Obi,
we all have little different ways.
which one's the mom? Which one's the dad?
River's the mom.
Okay.
Obi's the father.
Okay.
So River is at least 30% bigger than Obi because the
Okay.
females are always larger. Her beak color is a lot paler than Obi's. His is more bright orange. Hers is kind of yellow. She has white on her right leg, and Obi has white on his left leg. Obi has a scar on his cere right here right where the fleshy part meets his feathers. And Obi has a white streak across his left side on one of his big white wing feathers. So he's got a dark feather on his left neck that River don't have, and River has a dark spot on top of her head that Obi don't have. So there's a lot of little things you have to look at.
Pretty easy for you, it sounds like. I would just stick with the
depends on the angle too.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
It can be hard. It can be hard. We watched for years before we could just be like, yes, that's River or that's Obi. And it's easier
I
this
still
year.
get them wrong.
It's easier this year than ever because of that dot on top of River's head. And you couldn't see it from all the other angles before, so we had never had that to help.
Now
Okay.
the white tail feather, the white place on his back, on Obi's back, had that always been there? Because I don't think it was pointed out to me until like last year.
I said, I don't know if it's been there the whole time or if it just became apparent with the different camera view. Because we never noticed it in the past.
And we're up, this camera view zoomed in a lot more than what it had been the years past.
Yes. They said it was something about the way they had to situate the camera up there, and that there was no other option. So we take what we got and be happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
neat view. I think it's, I really like it.
Oh
It's
yeah.
good. See it, particularly seeing the eaglets.
So from the time the eggs are laid, or they hatch, till they leave the nest is how long?
80 days.
80
Roundabout,
days.
give or take.
Wow.
But then they'll continue to come back for about 6 more weeks before they stay gone for good, before they completely disperse.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that kind of wraps it up unless you have a closing comment, anybody?
I have a closing comment. Why don't you
Okay.
see if some of the Marine Association can come to one of our picnics so we can see what they look like? I mean, I know what everybody looks like, but
We're afraid of you.
good.
Like you're
That's
like a
good that
cult.
you're afraid of us.
You're like a cult.
we,
You're too
well, we are
invested
kind
in
of
it.
like a big family, though. A lot of us have really gotten to know each other over the years, and you know, we've even somebody come in and said, "Is this the official chat?" And I said, "Yes." Why do you ask? And they're like, "Well, y'all just sound like a bunch of friends sitting around talking about fish." And I was like, he was like, "Are y'all family?" No, but you know, we kind of become a big family. And I
Well,
was like, well, I take that as a compliment.
I
A
used to
lot of
drop
people
in.
ask if, a lot of
I-
people will ask if, it's like a private chat or if a family chat. And a lot of us have been there since 2007, since the beginning. So
You know, everybody's asking about, well, how was your vacation? And it is a bunch of friends just talking on there. So
Well, we're
that's
there.
kind of neat.
You know, we're there when there's no eagles. We stay there. We know there's not gonna be an eagle come. We're still there every day. You know, how's your mom and them? How's your dog? You know, just
When the
whatever.
camera was down, you guys were on there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
we all went to Johnny's and
Yeah.
stayed.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I visited Johnny too.
Now, I
Well,
have a question. How did you get started watching the Eagles, Keisha, and Darlene too? Because you, Darlene, I assume because you live on the lake.
Well, I don't really live on the lake. I live about, oh, by the way the eagle flies, I live about 6 miles from the nest, but it's straight across 111 basically. But I don't remember I used to watch the Washington DC Eagles. And then I don't remember who told me about the Dale Hollow Eagles, and I start watching. It was at the beginning. So, but I don't chat a lot. I don't have time to chat with Facebook. If I would give up Facebook, I could chat like everybody else.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, even on Fishtail Hollow, I might get 50 new requests a day. About 10% or 20% of those are scammers, but you have to delete. But it's a lot to try to keep up with, especially for you. How many followers on Facebook you got?
5. I didn't look yesterday, but there's, wait a minute, I write it down so I can remember. 5,000 something.
50,000.
5,000.
Well, it's
Yeah,
50,000. Yeah,
Yeah,
50,000.
50,000.
Yeah. So, you know, mine has
50,000.
only 12,000. I couldn't imagine 50,000. I mean, you got people from all over the world.
Exactly.
So
Now, how did you get started watching, Keisha?
Well, I got stuck at a desk job, so I was going crazy sitting there. A lot of times I'd just be sitting there, I couldn't leave my desk, just waiting on an email or waiting on a phone call, and I'd have to be right there. And I just got to clicking around, and I was watching that dang giraffe, and she didn't ever have her baby while I was watching, and I was like, "This is crazy." And then I heard something about an eagle, so I started looking that up, and then I was like, I found a few cams, and I was like, I wonder if there's any in Tennessee. because I wanted to, watch something close to me. So I pulled up, I searched Eagle Nest Cam, Tennessee, and there it was, and there I've been ever since. So
So
I
you,
remember the first time I showed up at the camp, it was the nicest clump of pretty green grass right in the middle.
yeah,
Um,
Had to have a mower.
yeah.
oh yeah.
yeah, yeah.
All right. So let's go back to some closing comments. We'll do one at a time. How about that?
Okay.
Sue, let's start with you. Any closing
me?
comments? Yeah.
Thank you for inviting us to do this. Thank you for letting us share some of our experiences and for the cam.
Well, we
We
need
really
to do this
appreciate it.
again too. We need to do this
Okay.
again, and we'll post this on the Facebook. And I don't know, you can put a link on YouTube. I don't know how that works, but it'll be on YouTube. And we'll put
We
in the
can fix a
comment section.
command and post the link.
Yeah, in the comment section, we'll put the links for all the different things. So, all right, Keisha, how about you? Any closing comments?
I just want to thank all of our viewers and chatters and all our wonderful mods. And thank you, Richard. And thank the Marina Association, Twin Lakes, everybody that's pulled together to support our Eagles. It's very appreciated.
It really is.
All right, Darlene.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody too that's involved, all the ones that help out. I mean, you help out a lot and Tom helps out a lot. I've never even really met Mickey. I know he's there.
Mickey does a lot.
I know he does a lot. I talk to him,
Yeah,
but I've never
yeah.
met him. So anyway, I want to thank everybody that helps us out. And I also want to remind people to be kind to us. We're human too. The mods and the people taking care of Facebook and everything. Our heart aches for Obi being gone, just like everybody else's.
Yeah, that's hard for people right now. And I see that. I looked at some of the comments. So you guys just gotta be strong, and that's the way nature works. Now, I will tell you this: we have a lot of wildlife on Del Hollow Lake. If you went to my YouTube channel, you can see that I filmed a bear swimming across the water. I've
Wow.
seen one in 15 years. That was awesome. I've seen a bobcat swimming across. I was on a jet ski and I filmed it going across too. I've seen coyotes. I saw a pig running down the bank a couple months ago. That was interesting. Didn't expect to see a pig. A turkey, a young turkey. They don't swim very well, but he was swimming across. And anyway, so yeah, I've seen a lot of different wildlife. The eagles that are down this way, we have a dead tree right across from the marina. They love to sit in that dead tree. They'll fish right here or chase, the coots. They like to eat a bird once in a while too. So, but it's kind of neat to sit here and watch them fly around. And normally have to be here early morning to see that. Or 7, 8 o'clock. After that, all the people kind of run them off. But the river is different on Del Hollow. If you haven't been to it, it's a whole different animal than the rest of the lake. It's not for everybody, but it is for people that want to get back to nature, go fishing, stuff like that. So for me, closing comments, if you guys don't have anything else, is, you mods, you guys take the brunt of the dealing with the Eagle public. And we really appreciate all that you do. We were glad to put that Eagle cam up. Twin Lakes was happy to participate as well. But every day we don't have to deal with it, and you guys do. So for that, we really appreciate it. When we don't answer right away, it's not because we don't care. And as far as going to the picnic, it is the week before one of our biggest holidays. So we're trying to get ready. So don't hold that against us. But I think Tom probably shows up. Doesn't he show up? He's right there.
No,
No.
he never
Well,
shows up either.
Well, now he's got two marinas, so he has that excuse. It's I mean, it's tough to get away when you're getting ready for a big weekend like that. So don't hold that against us. It's not that we don't care, because Tom is probably one of the first people to get involved with making sure that Eagle Cam's up and running. And I think he was the main force behind getting it done in the first place. So, and
See
I'm
if you
sure.
can work on getting us the Lakeview back. on
Yeah,
YouTube.
well, I will talk to, as soon as I get off here, I'll call Mickey and find out why we can't do that. Yeah, I'll call Mickey and talk to him. I don't understand why they can live stream it, but they can't put it on YouTube. Doesn't make
Well,
sense.
they can swap the view over to Lakeview manually.
Well,
But
last year they let us do that. Last
Yeah.
year they let two of us log into the streaming software and we could switch it back and forth, but we can't do that this year.
Okay, I'll try to find out what the reasoning is behind that. So, okay. All right, so we're good. Thank you for being part of this, and appreciate everything you guys do.